Good afternoon, everyone. I've been given a tough task to wake you up after lunch. Actually, two tasks. This is the first one, a very tough one. The second one, to answer a billion-dollar question: how to grow your fan base and how to extend your reach as a brand, as a company. My presentation is really in four parts. An introduction about Alsayegh Media. Then we go to the main presentation. We conclude it, and then I quickly go over two case studies, and perhaps then I would be receiving the questions on the case studies, because one of these cases have won an award last year in this exact show. So a bit of introduction about myself. I'm a doctor by profession, psychiatrist and pediatrician, and a marketeer by addiction. And sometime in your life, you follow your addiction, whether it's bad or good. Somehow one day I found myself addicted to the digital world and embarked on this crazy journey of running a media agency with sleepless nights. 2 years ago, when the crisis, if you like to call it a crisis, was at the peak, media agency, ad agencies were closing, were shutting down, were downsizing, were firing. And we started. Some of the top decision makers in Dubai and in the UAE, some of our very close friends called us and sincerely advised us not to start this crazy idea. But again, it's all the odds. We started 2 years ago, and we've grown, alhamdulillah, from 3 employees to start with to 50 plus. We have an office in Dubai, and soon, inshallah, in Abu Dhabi and Sharjah. Our clients are across the region. We've started recently working in Saudi Arabia as well. And we really are sort of a reflection of what Dubai is really. At least every person is bilingual. They come from different backgrounds, and it is the very first agency that is locally owned and merged with international experience. One of the very first employees that we had was an HR manager who went in the market and abroad to head for talents. And now, for example, the head of the creative department used to be the head of Nakhil's creative department. The head of video department used to work in Disney. We are really also the very first fully fledged media agency. Today, what we care about is the client objectives, is the client return of investment. I don't just do PR, I don't just do social media. We do everything that is related to media, starting from social media, to PR, to video, to audio, to events, to media buying, and we tailor-make solutions for the clients. And in my presentation, I'll highlight what is our belief is the right way forward. Example of some of the clients that we worked with. We're very proud to work with such clients. Do is the case study that I'm going to highlight towards the end of the presentation. The award-winning campaign with Do. Social media, fans and reach. You'd like to grow your fan base. You'd like to extend your reach. There are 2 ways really, no third ways. A quick and easy way, and then the tough way. Really, there are no third way. But before I sort of go further into my presentation, from the audience, 2 terms. Is everyone familiar here with Facebook PPC? Yeah? Anyone familiar with Facebook PPC? Facebook advertising. I mean, you put all your details on Facebook, and then you can advertise. You can target geographical area. You can target different criteria, really. This is why when you open your Facebook page, you see on the right side an ad targeted specifically for you. So this is Facebook with PPC. What about analytics? Anyone not familiar with analytics? With the new Facebook, there's something called people talking about this and graphs. You familiar with this? This is basically the analytics. It's the truth about how your campaign, how your page is doing. So we will start with the easy and quick way, and perhaps there I can stop my presentation if we're convinced that this is the answer to the billion-dollar question. A quick and easy solution to grow your fan base, to extend your reach. Is there one? Yes? Google. If you've got an iPhone or a BlackBerry, you can just Google now, buy followers on Twitter, buy fans on Facebook. And there are floods of websites that do all these tricks. And you can buy 1,000 followers. I know a top decision maker in Dubai who has just bought 100,000 followers on Twitter. And he's very happy, because he does not understand what that means. And you can pay thousands for Facebook to sort of extend your reach in PPC advertising. Question answered. That's the quick and easy way. But however, when we were little kids, sort of sneaking and doing something wrong, my mother would come and ask me a question. And then I tried to sneak and lie. But then it's a gift that mothers has. They discover if you're a liar. And I used to ask her and wonder, how do you know that I lied? And she'd say mothers can see a floating L on their kid's face when they lie. Okay? So with the analytics becoming readily available, and if you go through the buying followers, fans, and you flood Facebook with PPC, happy that you paid thousands of money, and not really sort of guaranteed a return of investment or satisfied your business objectives, your fans will see the floating L on your forehead. An example of this floating L, a comparison between two campaigns, almost similar number of likes or of fans, 9,000, 11,000. But then people talking about this is the analytics. This is very simple analytics that Facebook is making readily available for everyone. 24 people of 10,000 fans are talking about your page. And there's something really weird is going here. People talking about this, and then this graph is very typical of people who buy followers. A very steady number of followers, increasing and increasing and increasing. But then how effective is it? 24 people talking about this? I have more people talking in my profile and in my social platforms rather than this brand itself. Below here is a campaign that we've just actually been running, Dubai International Peace within 3 weeks. 11,000 followers. And out of this 11,000 followers, almost 90% of them are active on this page. So you could see perhaps an invisible L on the forehead over there. So the next question that begs itself, and I can see some of the audience sort of perhaps thinking about this question. Is it really a game of numbers? Does it matter how many fans you have on your page? Does it matter how popular you are? Number of fans, followers, friends, is it really a game of numbers? Even if you've got this sort of thousands, millions, billions, I'm not sure if Facebook allows billions of fans on your page. What about your business objectives? What about the very much avoided questions of return of investment on social media? Is there such a thing? Are there really case studies, examples of Facebook fans impacting your return of investment? At the end of the day, it's a business, and if you're not getting any return, you might as well not be there. It's a waste of time, it's a waste of effort, it's a waste of money. But then the next question is how? How do I get the right fans? How do I get the right followers? How do I make the right friends that really contribute to my return of investment, my business objectives, my overall strategy as a brand, as a company, as someone who spends time and money on these platforms. How do you get these fans to, number one, join in, and then once they join in your platform, how do you engage them? How do you cultivate this engagement to a community, and how to retain this community? The answer is emotions, 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 emotions. What you have to tap into is their feelings. You have to build a relationship with them. Building a relationship is not just existing there. When I got married, it took me years to get to know sort of my wife, my fiance, and then there's so much there. Sort of my family has to meet her family, and then also her politics, and then you get married. A relationship is not something that you build in a day. You have to build a relationship with them, and you have to understand their culture. You have to be local with them. And how do you do that? The answer is one word, is really content. Not just content, but content, content, content. In order to engage, in order to get people to join you in, you have to create the right content for them. And your brand today is not just what you think of your brand is. It's not sort of guidelines and sort of written words only. And it's not what people are talking about. It's what you drive the conversation as. Your brand is your content today, because all what your customers, all what your potential clients are talking about is your content. And I would really disagree with the previous speaker who was saying that content is the same no matter what platform it is in. I totally disagree with this. Each platform has to adapt its own content. Content presentation is different in every platform. And I believe that we are living in an age of a starvation of content. Every morning you wake up, you hold your mobile phone, you check your BBMs, you check your Twitter, you check your Facebook. Why? Because we're hungry. We're not just hungry, we're starving. I mean, if you see a video clip of people walking up and checking their mobile phones 20 years ago, you'd laugh, because it's a behavior they're not used to. And the reason is the market is not just hungry, they're starving for content. It's as if they've got tens and tens of fridges, and they come to you, and this is your brand, this is your company. They open the fridge and it's empty. Or, if you don't understand the culture, they open the fridge in Ramadan and they find sushi and caviar. No, I want khabis, I want amali, I want haris, I want traditional food, I want something that relates to me, I want the right content. So we are living in an age of a starvation of content. But then, what content is appropriate for a specific brand, for a specific target audience? You can't get someone from Barcelona who's never lived in Dubai to create content for people who live in Dubai. You have to understand the culture. And you have to be like fishermen, really. Anyone from the audience have been fishing in the past? Yeah? You have to choose the right bait for the right fish and the right location. You can't go to sort of any random location and expect to find the right fish there. You have to have the right hook, the right juicy worms in it. And not just fishermen, but real fishermen. Because real fishermen don't just throw a hook, an old hook. They always sort of throw a new hook with a new bait. So don't use old contents. Don't copy and paste. Old content is penalized by Google optimization system. So do you have a content strategy? And have you thought seriously of having a content strategy? Because this is the only way forward to get the right sort of audience, to get the qualified audience that impact your return of investment. And some of the basic principles that we believe in. And as my very humble opinion, as someone who sort of runs an agency that create content not just on daily basis, on hourly basis we create content, whether it's text, audio, video, animation, application, audio. There are a few principles that we always sort of perhaps take seriously in creating any content. You have to understand the culture. You have to localize your thinking. I mean, we see great videos on YouTube about a campaign for international brand done in London, done in Paris, in Rome, but does it work here? It doesn't. You have to really understand the culture. And the UAE and Dubai is not just the trade center to JBR. It's much, much larger than that in terms of sort of the geographical area and in terms of the cultural depth. And perhaps if you look at the figures, the most sort of the segment that spends most is female local. They are spenders, and they don't live between World Trade Center and JBR, so you are missing out on a lot of cash. And then don't just limit yourself to one platform. For example, Facebook 2 months ago have changed the game altogether. Facebook timeline. Has anyone visited the New York Times page recently? What about Ferrari page, official page, Emirates Airlines page? Now you can actually post-date your post. So New York Times has posts since the 1800s on the timeline. Ferrari has got the photographic biography of Ferrari Enzo, and what a pleasure, what a joy to go and see all these cars. The whole game has changed altogether. So don't limit yourself to one platform, because if you limit yourself, you are technology dependent, platform dependent, and once the Facebook decide or Twitter decide to change the way it sort of design the page, or they design the user experience, then you struggle. And social media, in fact, is just a platform, whether it's any of the different sort of platforms in social media. At the end of the day, social media is a platform, and we're really forgetting about Google. We're forgetting about search engines.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Mobile Show conference is now restarting in the Johara ballroom. Thank you.
So, what about your website? Have you optimized your website? Well, search engine optimization. Have you actually also thought of or updated yourself with the fact that Google Plus is a heaven for optimizing images? What about sort of using these SEO sort of this keywords in your PR? Have you optimized your PR? All this effort that you're doing could be linked to social media, and social media could work very much to amplify it, to augment it. And then the right way forward is really a cross-platform integrated campaigns in which you really understand the culture, the sensitivity in the culture. You don't limit yourself to just social media, your website, optimization, traditional media. We're being very unfair to traditional media. It is still there. Maybe in 5 years things will change, but it is still there. What about TV? What about the new emerging dual screen behavior? Twitter and live shows. And then again, content. Your content should be driving the technology. You can never let technology drive your campaigns. It's the content. You could have perhaps the most advanced augmented reality, QR code, blah, 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 technology in an application, and very happy, and sort of your programmers, your IT will be just over the sky. But then does it really impact your return of investment? It doesn't, because what people want is content. And then the next question, who creates content? You need really the right talent to create this content. And this talent should really understand the various aspects or facets of content as well as technology. And I mean, unfortunately, or perhaps fortunately, depending on what side of the coin you look at, we don't even have one single educational institute in the UAE or perhaps beyond in the region that teaches you about content, that teaches you the sort of the evolving world of digital media and media as a whole. The bright side of it is that you could take over and you could look for talents in the market, find them, groom them, explore with them, learn with them. It is an evolved world. I myself try to interview 10 to 20 candidates weekly. My boss interviews 50 weekly. On average, we recruit 4 to 6 monthly. Two of them stay, and the rest either they leave because it's a different environment or they're not the right talents to stay. So it's a fortunate thing if you look at sort of the bright side or the full sort of half of the cup, that we don't have such educational institutes, because you can do it. You are in the field, you understand the field, you've experienced perhaps traditional media, and you believe in the potential of the digital media. Explore this world. It's an evolving world. It is changing by the minute. My conclusion, again, as a humble opinion from someone who lives with content, create content on daily and hourly basis, is that content, create content that understand the culture, the cultural sensitivity. For example, the last 3 projects that I headed 2 months ago was a boxing championship. The UAE champion and the only professional boxer in the GCC was in this championship. So the sensitivity in there to this culture is different from the next project, which was the SME 100, the best or the top performing 100 companies in Dubai. And then the next project, which is very much an Islamic conservative project. 3 totally different projects. Each one of them has got its own sensitivities. And especially when it comes with government clients, there are so much sensitivities that you have to learn. It's a really steep curve. You have to understand the culture, the sensitivity to create this content, and then you have to build in the capabilities within your company. You have to find the capabilities. You have to source these talent, find them and groom them. Getting a talent is not just enough. You have to think of yourself as an educational institute. So it's really time to learn. And I'm going to highlight sort of just a couple of case studies here. The first is for our client Do. We manage their creative campaigns on social media. This campaign was actually in last Ramadan. And going to the business objectives, to the heart of why Do are investing in this campaign. The objectives, a very challenging one. Do generally perceived, or perhaps was perceived, as an expat-friendly sort of brand, and especially when it comes to local conservative segment of the market, there's some distance there, and you are asked to bridge sort of this tough perhaps gap, and so this was the challenge, to tap into the local and conservative community. How many of the audience knows who Sheikh Mohammed Al-Arifi is? Mohammed Al-Arifi, yeah? Okay, how many of the audience have worked in Saudi Arabia? Okay. Mohammed Al-Arifi is by far the most popular personality on Facebook in Saudi Arabia. He's an Islamic scholar. He is an orator, Quran reciter. And he has a very popular show on Dubai TV and Noor Dubai TV in Ramadan between 5 or sort of 30 to 5:30. An hour-long show that people call, ask sort of religious questions about various things, but especially fasting. So we did with our sort of relations, with our contacts, 2 weeks discussing with him the possibility of being the star of the campaign. And what we did, we converted his hotel room to a studio. Only to fans, there was a specific number by which you can call from 3 to 4 p.m. daily. Only if you have a due number. And you can also ask questions over Facebook. And then the whole question and answer session is posted on Facebook. You'd perhaps think that this is sort of a silly, a simple idea, but if you understand the sensitivities around Sheikh Mohammed Al-Arifi and perhaps sometimes the sensitive question that could be asked, this was a really tough question. And then immediately we came back and we branded all this audio conversation with Dude's music, and then we posted at exactly the right time, looking at the back analytics. And as well as this, there was another sort of campaign parallel to it. It's recording the whole Quran, 30 parts of it, by Dude's fans. And if you understand the complication around it, to be a Quran reciter, it's not an easy thing. And we had a tough deadline, only 10 days before Ramadan. As everything else in this part of the world, deadlines is tomorrow. Actually, yesterday, not tomorrow. So we managed to gear up to this deadline. We brought sort of specialized reciters to examine daily more than 10 to 20 candidates. So it's more like an Arab idol. By the end of Ramadan, we had a whole CD of the whole Quran recorded by 30 different fans. Each part is recorded by a fan who's qualified to do this. The next case study is something that we're really proud of. And again, this shows how the understanding of the culture and the sensitivities is a vital part to any successful campaign, to any local campaign, to any local case studies. Ahmed Abdul Malik Ahli was someone who is not very well known. And before actually the official announcement of the election, there was some news here and there. We started digging, we started learning, we started looking at sort of different case examples of election around the world, reading, grooming talents, learning, exploring with them, what happened on different media platforms. And then out of perhaps 130 candidates, only 4 have won from the Emirate of Dubai. Ahmed Ahli is one of them. Ahmed Ahli is today His Excellency Ahmed Ahli, and he's a member of the parliament. And the way we've done that is by creating content on daily basis, where about 10 videos, the allowed time for the campaign was less than 3 days. So 120 people are advertising everywhere, and you have to sort of have your radar on analyzing competitors on daily basis, on hourly basis, by the minute. And we came up with this idea that is a combination between an audio ad, PR, and podcast, and we called it audio PR. Over 12 of them, different sort of, over 12 written blogs, as well as BBM, as well as sort of PR. we explored various different ways, and some of the concept that we came up with, sort of offline PR, audio PR, we haven't seen any similar examples in the world, so we named them as an audio PR or offline PR, and we were really proud of these two examples, and again, to extend your reach, to get the right fans to your page, you have to create the right content that understand the culture. You have to get the right talent to help you create this content. So localization, talent, and content. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Hassan Dawood. We don't have a lot of time for questions and answers, but we'll take a question or two if there are any. Yes.
Hi, the strategies and the campaigning that you've mentioned about are pretty much heavy on their budgets, if I may to say. Of course, the companies that you're talking about do have higher budgets, but what about some smaller companies which wouldn't probably have this much budgets to spend on optimization of their Facebook, and then your offline PR, and then analytics, which definitely is a higher spend, more than even the PPCs. It's the analytics that a lot of research and development goes into it for your media monitoring and so on and so forth. So what would be an alternate, or what would be other platforms, so to say, which would be easy on pocket, or probably even free for that matter?
Thank you.
Thank you. May I get your name, please? Sandeep. Very good question, Sandeep. So these two campaigns are heavy on budget. What about if you don't have the budget, if you're a smaller client? I mean, we do have sort of a wide range of clients, from a very small clients, small businesses, to a large corporation. But at the end of the day, it's what you want as business objective. It's your business objective that defines which platform and which content. But then whatever you spend, whatever solution we tailor make for whatever business objectives we're sort of challenged with, is an investment. And we always believe that my success really is your success. If I don't, with one campaign, guarantee a return of investment, define specific KPIs that we agree on at the very start of the campaign, and there's no point of doing it because you are spending money, and this money is an investment. I mean, advertising on a newspaper to get a first page is perhaps 40,000+. But if you pay that for a whole month and Facebook, I guarantee that you're always will be appearing as a first or a second sort of ad in the target market that you choose. So it is an investment at the end of the day, and it's your business objectives that define what platforms. But I mean, you'd get every now and then that a client that wants a specific platform. I want PR. It doesn't work for you. I want PR. It doesn't work for you. But I mean, we advise, but sometimes as a business owner, you could see things that we don't see. We are ready to provide the service, but before that, it's a period of consultation that defines the right KPIs for you.
Thank you, Dr. Dawood. Any more questions? Well, I want to ask you one question, actually. You were talking about the election, and the results of that are very obvious. The candidate won, so you know you did your job. But what about do? How did you measure whether you were actually able to bridge the gap or not?
There are two KPIs that we defined for do. Number one, something that we very much control, and the other one, it's very much interconnected to their activities that we are not managing. We're not managing their PR, we're not managing their other platforms. And I believe both of them were achieved. The first PR is to get the qualified fans. The number of fans that of the UAE nationality in their page has dramatically increased, and they're constantly engaged in that page, number one. Number two, the number of subscribers do subscribe within the UAE community has increased. And in fact, they had this campaign called Emirati that they've been waiting to launch for a while. They managed to actually launch it right after this campaign because they saw that there is sort of an increasing number of people from within this sort of target segment joining Do.
Thank you very much, Dr. Dawood.
Okay, thank you.